up, everybody? Welcome back. It has been a very long time. I have no idea where the summer has gone, but we have so many updates for you on all of the cars, on the Stagia, on the two-door, but especially on the four-door. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Where we last left off, the four-door was downstate at a place called JEM Sports, getting dyno tuned. They were also tasked with doing the first start after all of the engine work that we had done to the car. And we had some hiccups along the way, but she's back and she is so good. So while I was at the dyno, we had a few little hiccups, nothing major, just relays, fittings, that kind of stuff. It was also kind of during their peak race season. So the car was down there for a while. It was about 2 months or so, but I wanted to do a conservative tune on the car as it's a street car. The two-door is going to make more power. So I wanted to have some reliability in there. So we did 20 pounds of boost and very conservative timing. So she made 490 crank. It was about 400 on a Mustang dyno. So a dyno jet would be, I don't know, maybe 440 to 450 at the wheels. And I'll tell you, that is plenty of power for this car. She struggles for traction in second, third. I think I'm gonna switch up next season to R33 tires for a little more grip. Maybe go a little bit wider in the back as well. But it is so much fun, and the noises this thing makes, unreal, so good. So after she came home from the dyno, did a bunch of cruises, drove it around, and I intended to make a video right when it came back. But the problem was every time I came here, I'd look at this thing and go make some noises and have a little boost therapy. So it just didn't happen. And then I had some issues with the car after it came back, and coupled with a lot of other things that life threw at me, here we are several months later. So first thing that happened with the car about a week after I got it back is my fuel pump failed. The car didn't leave me stranded or anything, but I had an issue under load. It would start breaking up. And after some digging, we realized that the fuel pump had failed. So Jake down at JEM Sports helped me out on a weekend, which was amazing. Gary over at Magic Garage helped me out, and we diagnosed fuel pump. So Gary hooked me up with a new fuel pump. It had an AEM in it before, and it went with the Walbro 450 or 455, whatever the Walbro is. Problem solved. It was great. Ran great for a little while. Next issue I had to address was the catch can was filling up really fast. Turns out we didn't put any baffles in the under the valve covers. So basically anytime I hit like heavy boost, the catch can would fill up like immediately. So Gary again at Magic Garage hooked me up with the titanium cam cap studs and the, I forget the name of them, but PRP sells these full baffle kits. So we got that in the car. Another problem solved. A couple little other hiccups along the way, but fast forward to right now, I went out to shoot some roller video of the car and she broke down on me. Lost fuel pressure, left me stranded on the side of the road, had to have it towed back. Gary from Magic Garage remoted in to the laptop, went on the link, and we were thinking fuel pressure regulator. So got a new fuel pressure regulator, got it in, and that was only a few days ago, and it still has no fuel pressure. It's like 6 PSI, should be about 40 baseline. So here in the next week, Jay and I are gonna basically take out all the fuel lines, fuel filter, the top hat, and see what's going on. There's some kind of restriction on the high pressure side of the fuel system. So we'll get that figured out. So currently I can start it, but can't drive it at the moment. So that is a bummer, but we'll get it figured out. She'll be back on the road, bebopping and scatting in no time. When we were tuning this car was drivability. Knowing that the two-door is going to make more power, knowing that it's a street car and it's an unopened engine, I didn't want to go crazy. So that's why we ended up at the number that we ended up at. The turbo wanted to make more boost. The engine wanted to keep revving out way past red line. We could have made a lot more power with this car, but I called it at a safe point. Didn't want to do too much timing, didn't want to run too much boost on an unopened engine, and 490 crank on this car is plenty. I don't know what it is about this car, but it pulls really, really hard. You know, one of the things that inspired me to do the engine builds on these cars was driving my friend Gary's R33 GTR. Big single turbo, absolutely insane engine build. Jay, that you've seen a lot on this channel, built that engine, and driving that car, it's so good, so unbelievably good. That's kind of what inspired me to, you know, do the things that we've done to these cars. But this car has the same feeling, except this car feels like it pulls harder. Gary's car makes a little bit more power, not a whole lot, but a little bit more. It is heavier than this car, at least on paper. But I think a big part of it is the RB25s have NVCS, a variable intake cam profile. It adds a lot of mid-range torque, which is one thing I love about RB25s versus 26s and 20s. So this car, it just, I don't know, it pulls way harder than you would expect from a car that made, you know, 400 wheel on a Mustang dyno. So we'll just say 490 crank. That's a lot of power, and the car doesn't weigh a lot. However, it feels faster than those numbers would indicate. And it reaches full boost right around 4,000 RPM, but the power band is not laggy. I'll put a dyno graph up here on the screen, but super good power band, super clean, and the drivability is unreal. This car drives basically the same as it did as a stock car. This car was stock when I bought it, minus a catback and some coilovers, and it drives the same or better now than it did then, which is awesome. And that's one thing I really, really wanted. I drive these cars all the time. They're not show queens, even though they have some show to them. That was big for me, is to just be able to drive the car, not have to get a workout, not do double leg day just to work the clutch. I actually have no idea what clutch is in this car. It was manual swapped in Japan. It has an aftermarket clutch. I don't know what it is. So we'll see how it holds up in time. I also don't thrash the car, so it should be okay. It should. We'll see. And we'll also see what happens with that one. That's got the Nismo Copper Mix single plate, which is rated for 420 horsepower. That car will have significantly more power than that. So we'll see. I really don't want to go twin plate. Not a huge fan of twin plate. Gary has a twin plate Nismo clutch in his 32 GTR, and it's not fun in traffic at all. Not at all. So don't want to do that. So right after the car came back from JEM Sport, I did change out the taillights to the Series 2 or Koki taillights with the center garnish. It looks a lot better, a lot sportier, a lot less like an Impala, which is awesome. Also, I had been searching for these rear spats for a long time, and this is the only set I've ever seen come up for sale. So I bought them from Japan. They were primered, and so I got those painted up at the body shop and put on. I'm still searching for the side skirts to complete it, but I did also change out the front bumper. I had been searching for this factory aero bumper ever since I bought the car. And I'm kind of surprised that they don't really come up for sale, because a lot of people put body kits on them or GTR style bumpers or whatnot, and no one really seems to sell these things. So this was the first one I had seen come up for sale. It was in Japan, so I shipped it over. It was gray, I had it painted. The center was already cut out for the intercooler, which is great. I would have done that anyway. And needs a little bit of trimming and stuff yet, but it definitely has a more aggressive look to it than the old bumper, and super happy with it. So still searching for side skirts. If you guys are holding a set of 4-door OEM side skirts, let me know. But tomorrow, this thing is finally getting all the windows tinted, which is fantastic, and because it's kind of a fishbowl now. But while it was downstate, one of my deflectors fell off. These things are really flimsy. I should probably pull them and put more 3M tape on there, but on one of the test drives while it was downstate being tuned, this one let go. And yeah, who knows where it is now? Somewhere on the side of the road in Jackson, Michigan, probably. But every set that I've seen for sale, this one window is not in good shape. So I'm hunting for a set of those. It only bothers me when I look at it, you know? So anyway, I'll find it eventually. So that's where I'm at with the four-door. The car's amazing, still have some kinks to work out, which I totally expected. With the amount of work that we did to the engine on this car, I expected hiccups. None of them have been major hiccups, just, you know, there's some time delays getting the parts in and whatnot, but I'll say Magic Garage has been a savior with getting parts to me quickly. And, you know, I highly recommend, if there's any kind of aftermarket parts you need, check out Magic Garage. Gary's an incredible guy. I do plan at some point to go out there, show you all the stuff that he's up to. Maybe this winter, we'll see. Got to get to GTR Fest first. Speaking of which, if you're going to GTR Festival in Dallas, let me know. I will be there. Jay's going, Tyler's going. It's going to be a great time, and looking forward to that. We're not going to take any of the cars down. We're going to fly down. It just makes more sense for us at that point, but we will be there, and I'd love to meet any of you guys that are going. So let me know. I'm going to talk about this in the next video, but you may or may not notice some changes on the Stag Wagon. It has a new look. It's kind of completely transformed. I'll talk about that later, and we will also talk about all of the progress on this car and some of the special parts that I have coming for it from Magic Garage. Some custom stuff that I'm super excited about. We'll talk about that in the next video. So I know it's been a long time since the last video. I have made a vow to keep putting out more content. The next couple videos, I'll give you updates on the Stagia, on the two-door, and also Jay's 240. He's getting that ready for a race up here called the Empire Hill Climb. So we've been putting a roll cage in it and doing all sorts of things to get that you know, legal for racing. And then he'll be all set for drift season after that. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.